In January 2020, I published a book about my emotional journey, what had made me who I am, my stories. And that was a big risk because that was going out to my friends and family, and they were going to be reading things about me that perhaps they didn't even know. So that was a big risk. But then I wanted to take this to a whole new level. And I was already exploring my past lives, my karmic lives. I wanted to understand what had made me who I am, and why was I experiencing the things that I'm experiencing in this life. And I know that doesn't resonate with everybody, so that was a big risk, but actually the risk paid off because I learned so much about me. I learned so much about the parts of me, the characters within me, and where they'd come from, and that was really quite exciting. So for me, that's paid off. I've lifted the lid, I've looked inside, and I know more about myself now than I could possibly have done had I not taken this journey. So that's the risk I've taken, and I'm really, really glad that I have. Oh, my daughter. We are so alike, and we're almost two peas out of the same pod. We have had different likes and dislikes, and we've certainly got some differences in our characters. Of course we have, but she tells me it straight. She tells me how it is, and she sees what she reads, and then she sometimes gives me a slightly different take or perspective. I get to hear things that I don't want to hear, which means she also gets to hear things that she doesn't want to hear. And that's proved invaluable. She's also my grammar checker because she's good at that and I'm not so good at that, and I don't seem to be very good at it these days. I think I was in the past, but never mind. And yeah, I really value her input because she enjoys reading what I write. And you know what, in some ways it's also giving her some lessons, the lessons that I've learned, so she's getting to learn them too. So there's quite a nice sort of round circle there. The other person is my husband. He knows the journey I'm on. He values the journey. He did my karmic lives because that's very much part of his skill set and knowledge. So I felt like we became more connected by doing that. And I thoroughly enjoyed the gifts that he's given me through his feedback. And he tells me whether, from a masculine perspective, whether the story resonates or not. So that's been great. And then, of course, there's the co-authors of this book who I wouldn't be here without them. So their review and input and their take on what I'm trying to say has just given the stories more depth. It's given my stories more depth. So I really, really truly appreciate them for that. Well, actually, the character in my original book back in 2020 was me. So that was me getting inside my own head. And this current story is still me inside my own head. So it looks like I'm spending all my time inside of me. But what that means is I've lifted the lid. It's like opening Pandora's box, and I'm not just exploring me, the me that's now sort of talking to you, but I'm exploring the me that was before. So it's allowed me to go on a journey through time, space, my energies, and I've really, really enjoyed that so much because I'm learning about the different parts of me. We all have different characters to play, and it's funny, you know, because I read a book when I was at school which was about the different characters or different people within a person that had written the book at the time, and it just feels a little bit full circle. I'm actually learning about my different parts, my different characters. And we've all got them, and we tend to not explore, and we tend to push aside and start to get a bit worried about them, but actually we should be embracing them, and that's where I'm learning how to explore. Love it. Well, my daily book is A Year with Hafiz, and this is Daily Contemplations. And this is just such a lovely, lovely book. I won't read the whole one for today, but it's called Saints Blowing in the Mountains. And it says, do you know how beautiful you are? I think not, my dear. What a fantastic first sentence. Stop and think about how beautiful you are, because you are. We all are. So that's one that I read every day, because it's a different contemplation each day. And some of them I have to really, really stop and think about because they're quite deep. Others you just think to yourself, wow, that's amazing. And I just really, really enjoy that. So that gives me my sort of daily action, if you like, for just reading something small. Takes a matter of seconds, but I get a lot of value from it. My other book is a book called Tell Me Who I Am Before I Die, and that's by Christina Peters. I think I must have read this before it ever became published, because I read this when I was sort of 15, 16. I read this story, and it was such a powerful one at that age, that here was a lady that had 5 people within herself that came to be at different stages of her life. And the very, very last character was a man called Michael, and he saved her life. And here I have been sort of since 2019 and up to leading into me writing my first book in 2020. And this story with my past lives coming in, I've learned about my parts, my characters, what makes me who I am. Now, I'm not putting myself on anything like the same level as Christina. Her level of complexity was huge, significant, but I understand it. And I think that's been the beauty of my journey, and being able to write and find out about myself and what makes me tick, what makes me who I am. Where did things come from that make my character now? How can I change who I am? How can I change the character that I am to be who I want to be? And that must have paved the way. Oh yes, most certainly. I see myself as being open, vulnerable, prepared to challenge myself, prepared to be who I want to be open to exploring, being open to sharing, being open to understanding and recognizing what makes people the way they are, being open to show compassion and kindness on a level that I've always had. I think even since childhood, I've always had that desire to care about people and to interact and engage with people at a deeper level. But now all of a sudden, here I am engaging with myself on a deeper level. So I think that's very, very much been part of this journey. The whole journey of writing took me to looking at and finding out my past lives. And I know that's not for everybody, I've said that before, but this took me on a spiritual journey, a connection to something much bigger than me, to actually the entire universe and beyond, whatever that might be, and however big that becomes. This took me on a spiritual journey to connect with all of that and to know that I'm part of that. And I don't have a fear of death anymore that I might have feared, or I knew I feared before. And this doesn't, I just don't anymore. So this whole writing journey, this whole exploration has helped me find me. It's helped me find who I am, where I am, where I came from, where I'm going, and actually what I'd like for my next life. And that's just blown me away. In terms of therapy, the greatest therapy has been digging out the stories that have made my life, that have made me and brought me to here, to now, and really drilling down, digging deep on those. So that's been the therapy, because by writing it, it's allowed me to release it, because you're writing as a third party, or if you choose to write as a third party, which I did, you're writing as if it's somebody else. Well, if we go and talk to somebody and they tell us a problem, you're looking at it as a third party. And we're all brilliant at giving advice, aren't we? So why can't we give ourselves advice? Well, actually, I found that I could through the writings. That's been the power. And I've got to do a big call out and a thank you to one of the other co-authors that encouraged all of us to just free flow write. Pick a word, pick a problem that you've got and just free flow write. And that became so powerful. So that's been the therapy side. So what a great journey. Oh, I know exactly who the spin-off story will be, which character that will be, and that's Nixie. Nixie had a passion and a desire and a thirst to understand and know all about my past lives. She kept asking questions. I just could feel her absorbing everything that was being told to her, and not necessarily making judgments, but she was, I could feel her growing, and she's very, very, very young, and she wanted to learn and understand. And at the very, very end, she says, can I come? And yes, you can, Nixie. Yes, you can come. I don't know everything about her yet. She's on her own journey, I think, but I want to really start to get to know her, the character, and her depths. So that's definitely going to be the next story. When will it be? I have absolutely no idea. I just feel like that she'll become a great story, and I can't wait to start writing one day.